So it was at a convention over the weekend. It was Comic-Con again, which was a lot of fun. Last year, this is when we did all of the recordings, the live recordings, that I don't think we did anything with.
We did not. It was too hard to match everything up. It was like hours and hours and hours of audio that would have taken even hours longer to figure out what to do with, like to just even match them up. It was bad. It was a bad setup. I should have thought through it more.
Yeah, but I don't know like what we would have done with it to have like made it better.
Yeah.
So anyway,
maybe we got some listeners from that experience last year.
Yeah, I hope there's anybody still listening to us from that. That'd be sick. Hey, if you listen to us, first of all, backtrack for a second. Welcome to Overthinking Games, a podcast about what games can teach us. If you started listening to us at the 2024 Happy Valley Collectibles and Comic Convention, then send us an email. Let us know, because that's crazy. Which means you've met me before, because you said hi to me. You've also met Dempsey and Katie, I guess, technically. Virtually. And we're trying... Dempsey, I don't know if you were here for this conversation, too. I think we should meet up sometime over the summer. Like, in person, in real life.
I agree.
That would be cool.
I don't know how we're going to do that, but...
We could do a podcast episode in person. That would be fun.
100%. If we get in person, we have to do a live episode.
Yeah.
I think we should do a meet and greet, then live episode with nobody.
A meet and greet of ourselves. Hi, nice to finally meet you in person.
Yeah. You know, I'll be moved in with my girlfriend. You guys can you guys can come crash. Or we'll go to one of your places. Fun. I don't know.
This sounds like off mic conversation.
It does.
Yeah,
okay. Anyway,
I forgot.
Let's introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a special education teacher who plays video games. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Seth. Say hi.
Hi, I'm distracted. And Dempsey, don't cut any of that.
Okay. Hi, I'm Dempsey. I was told that my sweater is like Republican coded, because it's like it's like a...
Can you zip it up a little bit?
So the fact that the zipper doesn't go all the way down, but it's like a quarter zip sweater. And I was told that like that's like the bad guys in what's that movie with Chris Evans where he wears a really good sweatshirt or a sweater?
Captain
Knives
America.
Out. It's like the bad guys in Knives Out where anyways, it's like a very Republican.
And they're Republicans?
Quarter zip sweater.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I know.
Before we get into our topic and what we've been playing, I want to give a shout out to Mike from the Old Switcheroo, which is a retro Nintendo podcast, which is very cool. But Mike, thank you so much for your email on procedural generation. It was extremely enlightening, and I found it super interesting. So
he basically just said
all of that effort.
He basically just said I was right, which is a good email to get.
I don't think that's what that email said at all, actually.
So
I'm not sure that that's what it said.
So if you have emails,
it was mostly that Seth was right.
Well, potato tomato.
What I noticed was it wasn't Katie was right, but that's fine. Katie didn't know what she was talking about. And that's okay. I can accept that. But yeah, so thank you so much for your email. We appreciated hearing from you. And
speaking of which, Katie, how can other people email us?
Oh, other people can also email us with their thoughts and opinions and suggestions and whatnot in our email, which is in our show notes. And we read every email we get. And we usually talk about them on the show if you're okay with that. So send us an email.
All 50 emails we've ever received.
Seth, don't say that. We get so many emails. Seth, what is our topic this week?
Yeah. So I was inspired by my girlfriend, and I was really sitting down and being like, hey, what the heck are we going to talk about? She gave a suggestion, which I thought was really interesting, and I forget exactly how it came up, but she was thinking about character creation. And I was like, man, what could I do with that? But I was like, well, I think lots of games have very interesting character creators because some of them give you like a lot of customization. I'm thinking something like Baldur's Gate, which lets you like make like fairly like realistic looking characters, but also like fairly wacky ones. And that also lets you pick like your class and your race and your stats. And then you get some games which are like Dark Souls, where it's like, hey, pick a class and like, I don't know, kind of just hit the randomizer button until your character looks like a deformed Cookie Monster and then just hit play and it doesn't really matter. And then you have some games sort of like The Sims where it's just like, I don't know, you're just making them look cool just because. I not really sure what I want to talk about in terms of that, but I think we'll get some like interesting, just like natural conversation out of that.
I have thoughts.
And I do think there is some sort of like education academic discussion to be had about like letting students customize their own things and like why that's beneficial. And I definitely have some connections there. So, but before we do that, you know, I want to talk about what we've been playing. Dempsey, I'm going to pass it to you because you said you haven't. So do you have anything you want to expand on?
I have been busy with creative projects and work and personal stuff. And I've been playing one of the most beautiful and critically acclaimed video games ever, Final Fantasy VII. And I've been moving pretty slowly to that. And I've decided to take like a break for the last 2 weeks to just play ungodly amounts of Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies.
Fun.
Specifically Black Ops 3 and 4, because 3 has maps from 1 and 2 and World at War that you can't get without having a PlayStation 3. And I'll put on like an old video essay or like video essays from content creators that like I missed that one from like 2016. And then I'll like listen to an hour long video essay about Rey from Star Wars when that was like at the top of the popular consciousness.
It's relevant.
So I've been kind of just like marinating myself in this like really intense nostalgia of like old 2010s pop culture and zombies from Call of Duty games that came out before 2020. And that's it. That's like, other than some Pokemon trading card game, which I don't think is a good app, and I regret every moment that I put into it. I've not really been playing anything else. I am very excited for Split Fiction, though. I have,
cool.
I have a couple of friends and maybe my sister, and then I don't know. I gotta find. A lot of people are interested. I gotta find someone to like sit down and put the time in. Because
Is it out?
This might be my game of the year. Well, that's not true. Wander Stop and Skate Story are also coming out this year, but this looks...
And Citizen Sleeper 2 came out, which is going to be great when I get around to it.
Yeah, which I have not touched. Also, I think it's useful to say the date that we're recording. So people, so we're recording March 5th, 2025.
For context.
Yeah, so that's March 5th, 2025. Anyways, so yeah, I've
in
just
case this comes out in 2026.
Yeah, in case
our release has been delayed.
Yeah, it's hard to make the time.
You're awesome, Dempsey. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, but yeah, so I've just been playing. I feel like Seth played RuneScape for 6 months. So
yeah,
that did
the podcast survived, so it's fine.
So I can play nothing but Call of Duty Zombies. I realized how meditative I find Call of Duty Zombies. Like, it's such a serene, calming experience to like. There's like a little bit of chaos, but mostly they're all predictable, and you can kind of make these big long trails and they don't move too fast, and you're kind of like picking the ones that do move fast off, and you kind of, it's like pottery, you know? Mm-hmm. That's what Call of Duty Zombies feels like to me. It's like you take these big hordes and you kind of make pottery. A newer level that I love is in Black Ops 4, the one where they're in an ancient Roman Colosseum. Real ones know what I'm talking about. But that is such a good Call of Duty Zombies map. And people are still online to play them, which kind of surprised me. But you can hop on to Black Ops 3 and play zombies online right now.
People love zombies.
Which was I thought that maybe like, you know, only like the last couple Call of Duties would still be active online. But no, you could. Ooh, I burped. We'll see if I cut that out. Anyways, but yeah, it has you can still play online, which made me very happy to learn about. I wonder if kids nowadays still have like a fondness for Call of Duty. Like if I was 10 now,
They do.
would I still love zombies as much as I do and like find it meditative and things like that?
Well, I don't know if they find it meditative, but I have middle schoolers who play on the PS3 and they play Black Ops. And they
Okay.
play zombies.
The kids are going to be all right.
They like zombies. I do have a kid right now who's deep into Dark Souls, and
Sick.
Sounds insufferable.
Every time I see him, he's like, "Have you beaten such and such level?" And I'm like, "Bud, I haven't played Dark Souls." And he's like, "Well, are you going to?" And I'm like, "Maybe." He's like, "Well, when you get to such and such level, just so you know, you can do this, this, and this." And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I get it.
He's like, "When you run into this boss, you just have to do this, this, and this, and then you'll be able to beat him, and it's so easy." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "And then I was fighting this one guy, and it was so hard, and I was going to crash out." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, man. All right, Dempsey, favorite hit me up with your favorite map from each of the Black Ops games. World of War.
It has to be the OG one where you're in the base. I don't know what they're called, but where you're in the base killing zombies before any kind of DLC.
You're on like the Air Force base.
Yeah. That was great.
Black Ops 1.
Okay, so Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, I get really confused about. Where do you get to be JFK and Castro? Is that Black Ops 1?
I think so.
I think that's a good map where you get to be JFK and Castro. And then also the movie theater. I think the movie theater might be Black Ops 1, and then you get to be JFK and Castro in Black Ops 2. But the movie theater is very good. Because you can make really long
Sorry,
trains.
go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Oh. What's the one where you start out in you're like in a town, and then you go inside and you make your way down into like this underground like laboratory or something?
Town?
Yeah.
Isn't the map just called
Which
Town?
game is that in?
Black Ops 2.
Yeah,
Can't
because
remember.
Do you
they
ride the
stopped.
bus?
That's the one that I played.
Do you ride the bus? And if you get off the bus,
can.
it's bad. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about
Town.
that.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah. God, that was a long time ago.
I don't like tweaks to the zombie formula. I really enjoy just like a medium-sized map, round-based zombies where you can fix the windows. That's what I want.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
there's so much shit now, and like it's so
like open world now.
it's like open world, and like some of the maps, it's not even round based anymore. The rounds just go up, but there's still always zombies on the map, and you don't know where they come from. They just come from like over the wall everywhere all the time.
No, they erupt out of the ground.
Yes, they erupt out of the ground, which is stupid. I like little windows in buildings. And then you go up and you put some wood on the window, and you walk away for and that buys you like 15 seconds to go do other stuff.
I remember that. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's what I want out of my Call of Duty zombie maps. Anyways, okay, Katie, what have you been playing?
I've been playing. So they're keeping these like little sales on Steam. And does anybody remember my New Year's resolution, which was to not buy games?
Yep.
I made fun of you for that.
It's February. Well, it's March now, but I didn't really make it very far before I started buying games again. So I bought a game called Cat Needs, which I can't get to play on my Steam Deck, and I'm going to see if my brother can help me because it is a game about managing a multi-cat household. And I know that in my real life, and I just need to play it in video game form. And it's a logic puzzle where you have to arrange these different cats in such an order that they can all cohabit harmoniously. And like some cats can't sit next to other cats because they'll eat their food even when they're not hungry. And, you know, some cats need to have a box they can sleep in, and some cats need to have like a cat tree. And some kinds of cats can jump 2 spaces while others can't jump at all, like the fat Persian cat can't jump. So you have to like figure out how to arrange them in such a way in a line that everybody's happy. And I want to play this game so badly, and I can't make it work. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get it to work. And then the other one I got, it was another cat game. Because do you know what sale it was? It was the Women's Day sale. And a lot of women-led studios make cat games.
That is
not beating the childish cat lady allegations.
That needs to be a topic.
Cat games.
National
So many.
International Women's Day, and it's all cat games on sale. That's fun.
So many cat games.
It's messed up.
I mean, and lots of other games too, like lots of non-cat games, lots of very serious games, lots of very like action games, like all kinds of games, but a very large amount of cat games. So I got this game called Roll the Cat, and it's so freaking cute. It's kind of reminds me of Baba Is You, in that it's like a puzzle game where you have to move. It's 4 a.m. and the cat's awake and meowing, and you'd like them to stop. So you have to get them put to bed in order to complete the level. And it's like a grid. The room is like a grid, and there's like cat beds, and you have to roll the cat onto their cat bed. But as you go, there's more and more cats. And they run into each other, and you have to figure out how to move them each in order to get them all where they need to go. And it's delightful, and I'm really enjoying it.
These are such like small games. Like not like indie games like cultural that have like a cultural moment. These are like 20 reviews on Steam games.
I know, but I'm gonna add to the reviews because I really enjoy it.
Okay.
And you know what, honestly, that was part of why I got them, because I love playing these obscure little games, because how many great games are living in obscurity because they just didn't quite make it on the algorithm, you know? So I'm playing Roll the Cat. I'm about an hour in. I'm enjoying it. It's cute. Well, how about you, Seth? What have you been playing?
I was looking back on it, and not too much. I think since the last time we recorded, I've been playing a little bit of Balatro. I just kind of got like inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing
by the physical deck that you can get.
Yeah, you can not sponsored. You can buy a physical Balatro deck, and I thought that was really cool. I've been playing a lot of Bloons Tower Defense. I'm continuing to just grind out random black border maps, which is a lot of fun. I might go for my first black bordered expert map today. It's the easiest of the expert maps, but still an achievement.
Are you playing the roguelike version, or are you playing regular?
Regular. I haven't come back to the roguelike version yet because I don't know. I just haven't felt inspired to. I might try it again tonight. I don't know. I think I just said, but I've been playing a lot of modded Minecraft, which is fun, ?
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. Like, I feel like many things, Minecraft is often about the journey and not the destination.
Yes.
And
there is
especially
no destination, right? Because it's endless.
Correct. And especially for modded Minecraft, which adds a lot of like, hey, I actually have a sort of like set goal in the future of like, I want to build this like fancy machine. Or modded Minecraft often comes with like a little quest book to be like, hey, here's like a sort of like pseudo narrative that really just helps you like explore all the different mods we added to the mod pack. And so you could sort of follow step by step through things, but sometimes it'll be like, hey, you need like 4 nether stars for like your next upgrade. So you have to like beat the next, like one of the bosses like 4 times. And then you're like, that sounds really inconvenient. And I think you're trying to get me to make like an automated boss killing setup, and I just don't feel like doing that. And one of my fundamental flaws when it comes to games is if I hit a minor roadblock, I will just switch to a different game. Except if it's like Dark Souls or something, in which case I'll just like.
I was gonna say that doesn't track with your like.
No,
I play hard games thing.
Yeah, but it's a problem of, do I enjoy the process? Because as soon as I stop enjoying the process, then I'm liable to just be like, I'm going to go play a game where I do enjoy the process.
That's probably good though.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I have limited free time, so I'm going to use it in a way that I'm enjoying myself. But what inevitably ends up happening is I play like RuneScape for 6 months, and then I hit like, I have to get like 4 more fishing levels for my next achievement, but I hate fishing with a burning passion. So I'm just going to let my like next 60 days of membership lapse because I just don't feel like playing RuneScape. For something that's ultimately about like 3 hours of work, I could do it in like a single afternoon and be fine. But
if gaming becomes work, what's the point?
Yeah. But I would get to the content that I actually enjoy if I just spent like 3 hours of video game chores. But like I hate doing chores so much that I just don't do it. That's the long story short on that, I guess.
Fair.
That being said, I've also been I've just started my second hardcore Minecraft playthrough. I'm thinking to see if I can go for like all achievements because I want to explore like the more modern versions of Minecraft. I feel like I was really into Minecraft like a decade ago and don't really know what they've added since. So I might try to figure it out.
Cool.
Every once in a while I'm like, oh, that was like relatively recently added to Minecraft, and turns out it was like 12 years ago they added that. Like, when did they add the Wither as a boss?
I don't know.
Because I have such surface knowledge of Minecraft. I know nothing about Minecraft. I will play for 4 hours, and then once the podcast I am listening to is over that I started listening to when I played, I will become disenchanted.
Okay,
I struggle with games like Minecraft because they are too aimless for me. I need a quest arrow. Like, I need to be told what to do.
Well, see, this is where we should just all play Minecraft together, and then we could sort of like, we could do something about that. But,
do you know what I would love to do? I'd love to have a Stardew Valley game together.
Yeah.
I've had an epiphany. That's actually something I've been playing and I forgot to say. I've had an epiphany about Stardew Valley because we've talked about it before, how it's such a stressful game to me because it's time management. But I've had like this epiphany that if I miss something this season, like in spring, it'll come back around and I can do it then.
The next
so the next year.
And you'll probably have more money and resources to actually make it happen.
Yes. I have unlimited years to do this. And so I've started actually having so much fun with Stardew Valley. And I just like get myself a little drinky drink and I get all cuddled up on my bed and all comfy and I just like putter around and I just do things and, I don't really get anywhere, but incrementally, a little bit at a time. And it's been super fun.
Nice. Well, anyway, that's about it for me. So on to our topic.
Sorry, you were going to say,
did
you find out when Wither was introduced?
Oh, yeah, 2012. And to me, the stuff that came with that update, it's Minecraft version 1.4.2. They added witches, bats, zombie villagers, wither skeletons, and the wither, as well as command blocks, potatoes, carrots, cobblestone walls. All of that is like in my head fairly new. I was like, yeah, I guess they sort of relatively recently added it. No, that was towards when the game was created.
That's like feeling like the 70s was 30 years ago.
Yeah, that was a year after I started playing Minecraft. But I think the problem is probably in that first year I started playing Minecraft is probably represents like 90% of my Minecraft player time. So it, it's like how
you're in stasis.
It's like how a 7-year-old, like 1 year of their life is a really long time, but for me it's like a third of that time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so on to our topic for today.
Yes, I'm excited about this.
Character customization. And I guess baseline. What's your favorite character creator?
Skyrim. Definitely.
See, people say that, but like I don't get it. Like, why?
Skyrim actually. So you were mentioned Baldur's Gate having a really like high level of customization. I actually don't agree with that. I
played
feel
it like once.
Okay. The customization is fairly basic in Baldur's Gate when it comes to like appearance and stuff. Which I'm not mad about, because sometimes like you don't actually want to get bogged down in tinkering with the width of somebody's jaw and how far their nose juts out. You just want to play the game. So I'm kind of okay with that. But if I wanted to pick a detailed character creator, then I would pick Skyrim. Because you can literally adjust everything from eyebrow depth and height and everything. Like, you can make a truly unique character. And if you ever watch the McElroy brothers on Monster Factory, they create some pretty heinous characters with that character creator. So I think it's versatile. That being said, though, I don't actually like to spend a ton of time on character creation. So the Baldur's Gate style actually probably suits me better.
Sure.
But if I do want to tinker, then I'm going to pick Skyrim. How about you, Dempsey?
I had to Google this, and I think it is the 2007 GameCube game Raw versus SmackDown, or SmackDown versus Raw for the GameCube.
It's a wrestling game.
Yes, it was a wrestling game, and I have not played a wrestling game since I got that game as a child, but I remember like character creation is about expression. And so the more options I have, the more tedious it becomes, but also the more I am able to express myself. And so I remember making a purple guy with green hair and swimming flippers on his feet. And he was a sea monster. And then I had a sea monster themed moveset where everything was like very fluid. And like that is my wrestler was sea monster themed, and then they had like scuba gear that you can put on him. And that level of self-expression is what I want my experience to be in a character creator menu. I think Baldur's Gate is so mediocre when it comes to outfit customization and when it comes to character creator. Like you only get 4 like you can't make someone who's like 6 foot tall, but 80% of that is torso, and they have the tiny little legs and the tiny little arms, which I would love to be able to make, but I can't do that in Baldur's Gate. So I think like sports games or wrestling games in my experience have had like the best customization. I like when you can give your characters like unhinged skin colors. Like if you want to make them like a really deep orange and then make them like fall and like autumnal. That's my guy. He's an autumn guy and he has autumn needs. That's how I want to play games with a character creator. And yeah,
I love that even as a child, like little you is exactly like grown up you. You're like, when I'm a kid, I'm going to make a sea monster with sea monster moves because he comes from the sea and it fits the narrative. And then when I grow up, I'm going to create a magical lady who doesn't ever level up her armor because she's magic.
Yeah, 100%. Why would she? She has no use for armor because she's magic. Anyways, so yeah, I think that is what I want out of a character creator. I think outfits, like being able to mix and match tops and bottoms, is so underrated. Baldur's Gate just gives you entire outfits, and that's so constraining. Also, like, let's say you want to put someone in like a bralette or a brassiere. You can't do that. You have like underwear or like these like long formal dress. Like you can't there's just so many things that you should be able to do
There's got to be
in
mods
such a
for that.
So yeah, on the PC, I think there's a lot more mods. On the PS5, there's like a couple different mods that they still close from the different NPCs, but there's still only outfits, which is not what I want. I want, and also being able to graft abilities of different clothes to different pieces of armor. So like just because this armor has like resistance to frost damage, but it looks really ugly. So I want to put it on the cute armor and still keep the frost damage resistance. Because I already did the thing where I've earned the right to have the frost damage resistant armor. So I should be able to take that and put it on other armor sets or other clothes. The one thing that Baldur's Gate does, and I'm very grateful for, is lets you turn off armor and you can just walk around in your camp clothes, because oh my god, the armor looks so ugly. Sometimes it's good, but most of the time we're wearing kind of our city outfits, and going like we're going to the market, not like we're going to a dungeon. But anyways,
do you know what's really good that does a good job with that is Horizon Forbidden West. Actually,
oh, okay.
You can put armor on, and then you can have like different armor as your appearance.
Oh, okay.
But still have the benefit of the other armor, which I think is super cool as well, because some of the armor is ugly.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that's so important, especially like if you are giving me the option to play a character that I make up, then I want to be able to have a specific experience. Like if I want to have like a little anorexic librarian, then like that's what she should be able to wear, like pajama pants. That's what I want. And so, yeah, I have, but also I think action games, like I'm not a fan of like The Sims and like actual like games that are built around customization. I'm not as much of a fan of. And so I end up playing role-playing games or action games, which have limited character customization, and then but like desiring the customization you would get from games that are built around that. Anyways, that's my feelings about character creators.
What about you, Seth?
Well, because like, and Dempsey, just a sort of point about the last thing you said, like, because you don't necessarily like it seems like you want a game that has like meaningful choices in the character creator, but often it seems like the games that have like meaningful choices in the character creator are sort of limited by the fact that their choices need to be meaningful.
Yeah.
And like games that are like, oh, I've got like a bazillion options for the character creator, they don't do anything. It's just to look different.
Yeah. Yeah, and so like you want, especially games that have a lot of mechanical flexibility, like Elden Ring is like you can play that as like a knight, or you can play it as like a skinny wizard, or you can play it as like a cultist, or you can put whatever kind of narrative wrapping you want your character to have, and there's mechanics that will support that narrative. And so as soon as there's like different ways to play games, then I desire more customization, because I'm like, okay, this is an astronaut, and all their thing is going to be vaguely cosmological themed. So it's going to be a lot of space-based magic, and that's it, because they're from space.
Well, so, and Dempsey, this seems like an obvious question for you, but like, do you enjoy a game better if you can like physically customize the character to sort of like meet your narrative needs?
Yeah, and then I don't care about the narrative at that point. Like a game can have such weak narrative if I get to make my own story. Yeah, like the writing of the game matters a lot less if it has good character customization. And then games that have like a set narrative and are built for like a cinematic experience, like God of War or whatever, I'm not as hung up on the fact that I can't put Kratos in different outfits. Like you can kind of change his armor around, but all has a really strong aesthetic that looks very similar. Like you're not really getting different vibes. Like you can put the dragon armor on him, and like it's not that much different than like the winter set of armor. It all is vaguely like gruff, mythological themed. But like because he's such a set character, I am okay. I don't crave the customization. But Fallout and Elden Ring and Skyrim, the idea is that you self-insert. Like Kratos is not a self-insert character. When you play as Kratos, you're getting a story that's about a specific theme, and he's making decisions that you wouldn't necessarily make, and it's a whole different experience. But when you are meant to graft your personality onto that character, that is when I desire, to put Link in like stupid outfits, because this is his, like, he went to the water place, and now that's his aesthetic for a little bit, because that's like he's like your friend that goes to Europe and is French for like 2 months, because that's where Link was. And so now that's, and so you like I don't know, in my opinion, a game can get away with as like pretty much as little narrative as possible if you let me decide my own character's motivation.
Well, and I guess there's also like two separate ideas here, right? There's like the character creator that's like the start of the game, and you're sort of like locking in your characteristics. But then there's like being able to like swap out armor pieces or like outfits and stuff. And I almost feel like that's different. Like when I build my character in Elden Ring, I have to pick one of the character classes. I might set like my face dimensions and locations and skin tones and stuff. But then like a lot of, I guess, like my ongoing character creation happens like during the game as I like choose what I want to level up, or I find like a cool new armor set. The joke for the Souls games traditionally has been it's all just fashion Souls. Like your armor choice really doesn't matter. It's just way better to like pick something that looks cool and lets you medium roll and just kind of like hope for the best. Which I think is like relevant as part of this conversation, right? Like for me, when I play Elden Ring, I don't put a lot of time into like the starting character creator, because like I don't really care what my character's face looks like. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at him. But as I play through Elden Ring, I'm going to have to stare at this character a lot. I want some cool looking armor for me when I fight bosses. Like that's important to me, despite no mechanical benefit or anything.
So this is how I feel about free-to-play games that have cosmetics. It's just cosmetics. That's what people say. It's just cosmetics. And I think that's bullshit, because that is the game. Mm-hmm. Like that is what I am looking at. That is the pixels on my screen. That is the tone of the character. That is my self-insert. That is the aesthetic and emotional experience, is what that character is wearing. And a lot of people really don't care about cosmetic microtransactions, but for me that feels like I'm being locked out of gameplay, because I want to experiment and experience what it's like to wear a really long flowy dress, or have like really shiny clean armor, or look like a doctor or whatever. Like that is locking gameplay behind a paywall, in my opinion. I don't buy it's just cosmetic. I never buy that argument. It's so dumb.
So in Warzone, it's funny you bring that up. That was one of my points that I wanted to bring up, actually. Like in Warzone or Fortnite or whatever, you can buy operator skins, right? And in Warzone, it's a first-person game, so you can't even see yourself, really, right? Except for at the start of the game, you see a third-person view of yourself as you're going in, and then like on your kill camera and stuff, you'll see yourself being killed. But it's always been really important to me, since I could pick my own operator, to always pick a female operator. And as I've gone through the game, I find myself paying real money in order to get the cool girly operator. So like right now, my operator is Cybercat. She's so cute. She's pink. She has cat ears. She's adorable. And there's another one that's out that's like called, I forget what it's called. Something unicorn. And she's got like a rainbow mohawk, and she looks like a cool like skater girl. And I'm so tempted, even though it would be like literally $15 of real money to get this operator skin that does not have any impact, and in fact would make me more of a target because I'm a rainbow in a drab olive world, right? So it doesn't actually help me at all in gameplay, but it's important to me, even though I don't ever get to see myself, because the default gender of somebody playing Call of Duty is male. Like, people always assume whoever they're playing with is male. And I want it to be as clear as possible that you got killed by a girl.
You like that pirate that killed people shirtless? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
There's that female pilot that battled shirtless so people would know that they were killed by a woman.
Oh, I love that. See?
That's big.
Great.
As
Like,
part of this conversation,
I want.
I was going to say, only viewable by you guys. This is my Team Fortress account that I have 1,300 hours on. If you guys want to look at the stream here.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
every one of my characters completely decked out in cosmetics. Because it's part of
Nice.
like the TF2 like sort of character vibe is like everybody gets like cosmetics, and I've probably got like $100 worth of like cosmetics just in like every one of my character classes is like completely booked out. Some of them with like multiple cosmetic loadouts. Like, I don't know why I did this to myself, but like, yeah, to me, it's part of, as Dempsey mentions, like the gameplay experience is, I don't know, I get to sort of like customize what my guys look like, even despite the fact that I spend most of the time in first person mode.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get to
I
see
think
this
there's
stuff.
something. I think there's something about wanting to be, like, in multiplayer games, at least, like wanting to be perceived in the way that you would like people to perceive you, I guess. Yeah. Go ahead, Dempsey.
No, I was going to ask, do you make your characters a reflection of yourself? Like when you're going into a character creator, do you make yourself or like a version of yourself?
I think it depends on how many times I've played a game. Because, like, I think the first time I play a game, I have a tendency to do so. Or just a tendency to sort of, like, lean in to the character archetypes I really enjoy. Which I think are oftentimes some sort of personification of myself. I really like paladin characters in video games. They tend to be, like, they tend to be religious and, like, the support helper types, which I sort of find myself to be a religious support helper in real life. As a teacher who often also helps out at church. So I sort of incidentally fall into that character archetype a lot in games, but also like that's usually the first time I play a game, but like, I don't know, second or third time I play a game, I might just be like, what if I played like a weird druid lady? And I think part of that's just like comfortability with games sometimes is then just being like, okay, now that I've sort of like explored the idea of myself in this game as like a self-insert, now I can explore like a different person playing through a game.
That's interesting. I think I tend to create usually like an idealized person.
Yourself, but idealized.
More so than
Yourself, but idealized.
yes, like an idealized version of myself. Like I always like to play like ninja sneaky types because when I was a kid I wanted to be a spy, and like I've always like really thought that would be super cool, but I'm actually the least sneaky person I've ever met. So I definitely like to create that like Catwoman style, like super sneaky and lethal badass sort of situation. But I was thinking about what you said, like, oh, you know, maybe later you'd play a different character that's, you know, completely different from what you would self-identify with. I have never, in a game where I can like create my own character, I've never created a male character ever. Yeah, I never thought about that. But I think it's because so often in games you get pushed into that role anyway. So I'm like, oh, wow, I actually get to be a girl. I'm going to do that. So I would always choose a female character as a sort of form of self-representation.
I think I play more often as women because I feel freedom to have more expressive aesthetics. I remember, and this is not appropriate to say in the podcast. I remember one time, my first year in college, I was going thrifting, and I was at the teller, and it was a woman that I was buying stuff, and I was like, I'm really jealous of women because they get to wear such fun clothing. And I remember like this look that the teller gave me was like, she could not be least like, did not like that was a worst possible conversation for her to be dragged into. Was like,
Yeah.
but
It's true though. Boys' clothes are boring.
I 100% agree. Yeah. And so I think I will often choose women to play as and character creators first, and then playthroughs after that I will then make a male, and like I have like most of the time I have like a vibe where like they have a specific thing going on. This is a pacifist, or this is a librarian, or this is a little thing going on. But yeah, I think I find a lot more natural freedom to be a lot more expressive when the character I play is a woman, which I don't know that. I don't know. But that's just, I don't
That makes
know.
sense to me. Plus, if you think about like a lot of the times, I feel like the options for women are more varied. Like you have more customization options on a female character creator than you often would for a male character creator. Like women get to have like all different kinds of makeup and stuff, which can really change their look.
Yes,
and
100%.
like, a lot more like hairstyles and things like that.
Yeah. I think I haven't really thought about that before, but yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's a problem that comes up a lot in the Pokemon games that they talk about, is because like the guys in the Pokemon games, they're like, hey, we've given you 5 varieties of t-shirts and 5 different pairs of pants, and they're all various shades of jeans and khakis. And then the women are like, yeah, we gave them like actual outfits and dresses and skirts and shirt combinations, and they also can wear pants and blah, 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 blah. They also have shoe variety. They're not just all sneakers. So there's a lot of people who like play the Pokemon games, especially the ones that, the recent ones that actually have customization options. And they're like, I play a girl in the Pokemon games sheerly because they have actual customization options, and they've gotten better about it. But
that's interesting. I think it's really interesting to think about it that way, that even in like video games where self-expression is a very safe thing, a lot of the times societal norms and expectations for like gender roles and stuff are just being reinforced consistently. Like, oh no, boys don't need to worry about their appearance, or shouldn't worry about their appearance, or shouldn't want to, and so they limit them. And girls, of course, care, so they have all of the options.
I do complain about this at work occasionally, because even in like the science department, the women in the science department will like wear dresses, and some of them, or like pants and a dress shirt, or a lot of the women in our department wear scrubs. It's a sort of just thing they do. And I'm like, I go to my wardrobe and I'm like, oh boy, khakis and a button up again. Or I'll mix it up today. I'll wear khakis and a sweater. Or khakis and a polo. Like, I do wish I had some other options.
Yeah, I think also in games, and maybe in real life too, I don't know, but I think men are expected to express themselves a lot more subtly. Like there's a lot more subtlety to men's fashion than I feel like women's fashion.
I wore my watch today.
Yeah, it's good. And so in a game that I'm not familiar with yet, I don't feel like I have the subtle aesthetic understandings for the men yet. I feel like I feel like if I play as a woman, I can kind of make a statement with my aesthetics about self-expression, and that feels a lot more comfortable. Whereas like I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like there's like a lot more repressed experience for the men that I am playing. Like even like in Cyberpunk or whatever, like I can like you can make like a, I don't know, whoever you want. Like let's say you want to play like a goth cyberpunk person. I just still feel like with the makeup choices and like I don't know, I just feel like, and maybe I don't know, and maybe it's also because like I don't know. This is I feel like it's going to come off as misogynistic. I'll cut this out.
Go for it. Tell us.
I think there's an element of just enjoying to look at a woman more for 100 hours. And,
I mean, yeah.
And so, well,
it's fair.
And so, like, I think, like in general, there's a lot more something aesthetically pleasing about that. And so,
well, you hear like the actually misogynistic gamer dudes who are like, "Oh my god, she's not even hot." Like,
wasn't that the thing with like the game with Aloy? When
sure.
Horizon. Like she's not even hot, which I'm like, excuse
it was
me?
the new Horizon, right? And people
anyway.
were complaining that she has like, if you like zoom in really close, she has like
she's
little
got like
facial
body
hairs
hair
because
she's a mammal.
Yeah.
So and that's where I'm like, okay, so in that case, like that's just continuing that idea of like women exist to be pretty and to be looked at and enjoyed in that way. But I also think I think you've got a good point there though, Dempsey, that like when you will play as a female character, you have permission societally to make different choices and express yourself more fully. Whereas if you were playing a male character, and I don't want to speak for you, but like perhaps you would feel more constrained by the actual societal expectations of what men are supposed to look like and stuff, that you wouldn't feel as free to make those choices.
Yeah, 100%. And like knowing like, okay, what does a knight feel like in this world? And like how repressed or like how subtle does a knight have to be? Or, you know, whereas, I don't know, if it's a kooky, fun, like Miss Frizzle type character or whatever, like that feels, I don't know, just a lot freer. So I don't know, that's interesting. Will you pick different races? We're going really spicy.
Yeah.
Do you mean like fantasy races or like people races?
Both, I guess. But I feel like those have different political connotations.
They do, which is why it's an important question.
I don't always create a character that looks like me. I like to, especially on Baldur's Gate, they've got such beautiful hair textures and hairstyles. I love especially now that I'm playing on the PS5, I love the curly hairstyles. So I always make a character that pulls that off. So usually I play a person of color, like with kinky, curly, beautiful hair.
Yeah, I think if I'm trying to make somebody that doesn't, okay, because this is a problem that comes up as well with like, this is a larger problem.
Maybe we cut this part out.
Well, okay, because like I just had this conversation. So actually at the comic convention, I did an interview with somebody. It was actually fun. I did like a live on stage interview with some guy. It was cool. And he's a voice actor. And one of the things he brought up was like, we're starting to get more like voice actors that are actually like representative of the people they're voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
And like the fact that that's important. And it's something that I feel like comes up in like the D&D communities, because people are like, what if I want to play like a character that is sort of like representative of like a race of which I am not? And when like, yeah, if you want to play like an elf or a dwarf, like, yeah, like who cares, right? But like, it's a bad vibe for like me as like a white guy from like the outskirts of Philadelphia to be like, yeah, you know what character I want to role play for my D&D game? A black woman. Like it's not a great vibe.
I have a nuance here. I think that it's different in D&D than in Baldur's Gate. I think in Baldur's Gate, if you want to play a black woman, that's fine, because like then it's on the game to represent like hairstyles and choices that feel like authentic to whoever or whatever. And I think and whereas when you're D&D, you are the writer.
Sure.
like when you, and so I think I do think
Good luck pulling that off.
Yeah, I do think that the difference between picking someone outside of your race, like actual not fantasy races but human race, in D&D, it's a lot bolder of a choice than in a video game. But that's interesting because I would definitely, like, I am playing Traveler right now and my character is very white. And I'm pretty white passing. I was born in Mexico, so I have like a different cultural context. But I feel like,
right.
I don't know.
But like I'm very white. And
sure.
I feel like whenever, and I guess this is just naturally, I don't know if it's my lack of creativity, but like just about like every game, if I'm making a character, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make like a white dude, but I'm also like a white dude, so it's kind of like my natural inclination when I go to like make a character.
When I create a D&D character, like I definitely default them to like white female, like
yeah. I mean, you're just like you want a character that looks like you, which again is why representation is so important in the first place, right?
Yes, I was actually going to talk about that. Yeah, I think it is really important. Like, there's something so satisfying and immersive when you are able to play as a character that you feel is representative of yourself. And I think that's part of why that character creation is such a key component in so many games and for a lot of people. And like you were saying, Dempsey, like, it doesn't matter what the story is if you can put yourself into it the way that you want to. And so I was reading this article. It was actually like a psychology article. And it was talking about how people who felt that they could, the more that they felt they could represent themselves in the game, the more engagement they had with that game and the longer they stuck with it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah,
100%. And like, I think, so for me, so Cyberpunk has a little bit of like Hispanic-ness to that game. And it's one of the only, like your main person will talk Spanglish to you. And I think it's like vaguely South USA, like LA or something like that. I don't know where Cyberpunk is set actually. But I do remember being like, oh, this is so exciting. There's elements of this that feel like kind of authentically Mexican. Not everything, but there are elements, and sometimes like things feel good like that, which is very rare in a video game. That there's a few video games, but not very many. And then also when something feels like authentically Midwestern, I also get very excited. My fantasy is to do like a pre-Superman Clark Kent game set in Kansas. Because I'd be like, okay, how are they gonna represent like the American Midwest? That's how I felt playing Far Cry 5. Because Far Cry 5 is set like very Americana, very rural, very conservative Republican area, which I can very much relate to. And so seeing like how they portrayed gun-toting Republicans, how they portrayed like the softer side of that kind of Americana. I think it was set in Montana. I'm from South Dakota, so like it was close-ish. I think like even past the character creator, just like different themes and cultures that get explored makes for like gaming itself to be more exciting, able to say more things, and then the people who can find some of their experience, there that's extraordinarily meaningful. That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love it if there was a video game about a homeschooled nerd. I would relate to that so hard.
Isn't that I'm sure there's some game. I just can't think of it.
Maybe so. All right.
I thought you were going to say Mormons.
No, thank you. That's okay. Well, excuse me. Good Lord. That was a very interesting topic, Seth. Well done to your girlfriend for bringing it.
She's pretty great.
Yeah, good job. Do we have any honorable mentions before we wrap up?
Yes. So I'm gonna look at my letterbox. Hold on.
Oh, jeez. Are we gonna get this every week?
Well,
we're getting his recap.
I think I've only watched 2 movies.
Oh, okay.
So one was Poor Things, and I gave it 4.5 stars. Why the chair big though? And if you watch Poor Things, why did they give her a big? Have you guys seen Poor Things?
Oh.
So it's a very strange movie. A lot of people hate it with good reason. I thought it was extraordinarily beautiful. It's about these men that put an infant's brain in a grown woman's body. And then it's a very sexual, like kind of like, it's very sexual. Like it's very problematic if you stop and think about it. It's a very gross movie. But one of the things that drives me insane is that, so it's set like when she has the mind, like when she's, I don't know, a couple years after this operation. So she's like walking around like a toddler. Like it's kind of a Frankenstein allegory kind of situation. And so she's sitting with her creator in a big chair, but it's Emma Stone. And so the chair is bigger than a regular chair. Like I understand that it's supposed to represent her childlikeness, but it's not like she's a regular sized woman and could sit in a normal chair and look normal. But they made a big chair for her to sit in the world of the movie. And I don't know why they made her a big chair.
Is like the theme supposed to be about like the infantilization and sexualization of like women and girls?
Who knows if this movie has a theme? Kind of. It's
gross.
It's kind of about that. She ends up becoming a prostitute. It's a whole thing.
Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah,
from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's very yes. Okay, so here's the thing about Poor Things. I think this movie's spineless. I gave it 4.5 stars because I think it's one of the most beautiful looking movies ever, and all the performances are fantastic. I do think that it's written like it's one of the most bizarre films that doesn't really say what it's trying to say. Because this guy tries to marry her in the beginning, and he's not like the bad guy. And like I wonder if it would have been so much better to just have an adult brain. Like, I don't know why they made it a baby. So like, because like it could have been just a Frankenstein and he got the brain from another dead person, and there wouldn't be this really uncomfortable like grossness to it if it's just like a Frankenstein allegory. But they really go out of the way to talk about how it's the brain of an infant and she's learning like a child. And so like it's a really uncomfortable movie. I think all the characters are really bad people. I don't think there's I think she's a bad person. I think every single character in this movie are actual like if you knew them in real life, they would be the worst person you know. Like the best person in this movie would consistently be the worst person that you know in real life. Anyways, and so it's so beautiful.
It sounds
it's like,
gross.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Also
weird.
I watched Fly Me to the Moon, which stars Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. I gave it 5 stars. I said, I am so easily manipulated by pro-NASA propaganda. It's one of my favorite things about myself. So Fly Me to the Moon is about this it's not based on a true story, but it's kind of, so it's based around the idea of what if NASA did fake the moon landing? And also like, what if they took a lot more marketing deals and were a lot more, it's like about the publicity of trying to sell the moon to the American people. Through like brand deals that never happened in real life. And then they made the moon landing. They like filmed the moon landing because they wanted control over they wanted, a controlled environment. So it's a fake moon landing. And I feel like I gave it 5 stars because anytime I see the NASA logo in a movie, I get excited. And then I forget any other quality bar that I have for cinema. But I feel like the actual story of how they actually sold the moon to the public is so much more interesting, because like there was a lot of waning public support. Apollo 1 died, JFK was shot, like a lot of people wanted to scrap funding, even people where like in Florida where that was an economic engine were not in support of it. And like the public propaganda campaign at the time would have made a better movie than this like fictionalized version of them faking the moon landing.
Interesting. What do you bet conspiracy theorists, though, are going to refer to this movie as though it were a documentary?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this movie maybe started out as something else and then morphed into what it became, because it just feels very strange. Anyways, and then I spent time in the Rocky Mountains for about a week. I was out shooting for a project, and I suggest that you do that if you.
How close to Utah were you?
What?
Where were you? Were you close to me?
No, I was in Colorado.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool. Is that for
Yeah.
your is that for your project that you've been doing?
yeah. It's been
Cool.
It was so.
Can we shout it out? The one that you've done?
If you want, yeah, sure. It's Nurturing Nature.
Yeah. So Dempsey made this cool documentary. What is it? Nurtured in Nature?
Yeah, so it's a nature education series centered on conservation fieldwork and labor, and so we kind of go out with conservationists and biologists and things like that. And did you know that the Rocky Mountains are majestic?
Yeah, I was aware.
And they kind of like fill you with a sense of awe.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I live at the base of the Wasatch Mountains, and those are the foothills of the Rockies. So we have like slightly miniature versions, but yeah, it's grand.
Yeah, it's very cool. So
They're beautiful. Cool. Seth, do you have any final things?
No.
Okay.
Drink your Ovaltine.
Cool. I don't think I do, except for I do. I'm reading a book called Starter Villain by John Scalzi, and it's great, and people should read it because it's funny, and it talks about the voracious machine of capitalism in a way that doesn't make you want to cry, because it's funny. And it's about this guy who inherits a villain business, and there's all kinds of talking animals, which is great because science. So really funny, really satirical about capitalism, and I love it. I'm enjoying it a lot, so you should read it. All right. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Overthinking Games, a video game podcast about what games can teach us. And we will join you next time for our next episode. Sorry, I bungled that. I don't know what happened. Bye.
bye.
Bye. See you next time.